See, we can never get this right. Little by little, we will make this thing right. I will continue to make mistakes so that we can become better. There we go.
Hey, there we
Welcome,
are.
welcome everybody to Top Dog Coverage. Shout out to our sponsor, Norse-Hall.com, for sponsoring us. Some of the best damn hot sauce you'll ever have. So, actually, their store... Didn't even notice my water bottle was in the middle of the camera. Cool. All right. No,
Happy
Norse
Wednesday.
Hall. Yeah. It's been a day. It's been a day, C-Dub. All right.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. But Norse Hall is actually opening their store. So,
Nice.
yep, starting Saturday, April 5th. Going to West Virginia. If you look up Norse Hall, they will have an address. And I don't have the exact address because obviously I'm in New York and I like them so much that they're far away. So they gotta be somewhat good.
Hey, so this means we gotta take a road trip up there. Now they're gonna have a full store.
Yeah, we might have to.
Go visit those guys. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And they talk about Viking stuff, man. They're gonna be throwing Viking weddings, everything. It's like, yeah, they're gonna be selling the mead. Wouldn't be surprised if you get Sam Darnold getting married over there. Not anymore though. But
yeah, I think he's in Seattle now, but
yeah.
hey, it is what it is.
If you're new to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. You'll get more and more information that we go through. This is only the tip of the iceberg that we're touching here. As soon as we get into the 2025-2026 era, we're going to be jumping into a lot of different players and such. So welcome to the channel. The more people you guys tell, the more fun we'll have with a lot more subscribers, and we'll just give a little bit more gems here and there. So
yeah, I mean, we're 22 days away from the draft, so
yeah.
That's my favorite time of the year. Draft season, baby.
Yeah, man. It's and let's be real, no one knows what's going to happen in this draft. This draft is completely we're oblivious to everything.
Huge wild card, man. It's just it's crazy. It's been a while since we've had one like this, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember one where you have probably 15, maybe 20 guys that are real blue chip elite players.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? Who knows where it goes? Like,
there could be one team, like, not for nothing, there could be one team that just goes like BPA and throws everything off. That's the beauty of it, because some general managers think best player available, and others are like, no, we need to fill this need. Now, sometimes, obviously, when BPA comes into the same range as your need, that's amazing. You know what I mean? Like that's a full win. But when you have people like, I'll just say like the Raiders that take a tight end both years in a row because of best player available, knowing that you need quarterbacks and all this other stuff, it's like that could really dismantle some other teams behind them.
Yeah, they got a special one last year though.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, and sometimes the BPA, it marries the need, but you got to factor in how many of these guys are on the hot seat, how many of them are pressing to make a big swing, because they're obviously fighting for the jobs. So that also adds to the intrigue and mystery of the draft.
Yeah, man. So again, if you guys are new, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter. We call it Twitter. It's not X. Okay.
Yeah.
Get used to that shit. And big hearts. Big hearts out to Twitter lovers. And everything is Top Dog Coverage. TOPDAWG, which lives inside your soul, coverage. So Top Dog Coverage. Hit that like button, subscribe. And hey, what do you say we get into a little free agency action today?
Now, before we get into free agency action, I think it's a great idea. I have a question for you.
Shoot.
So today's April 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta ask, how'd your April Fool's Day go? Did you get to prank anybody? Were you a part of any pranks? Did you get fooled?
Well, I saw a couple things. Okay, let's just put it that way. I saw a few things. I'll give you a story. I was I went into the Cumberland Farms, which is a big thing over here, right? And it's kind of like the Wawa of New Jersey. I don't know what gas stations you guys have down there, but
I got like Bucky's and
okay.
whatnot, yeah.
So
So
so yeah, I went down there, and a woman said, "I got to do something. I haven't done anything to anybody yet today." And okay, fine, right? So she calls her boss, right? She calls her boss and says, "Hey, so and so said that they have to leave, and they just left." And he's like, "Well, what do you mean she just left? You know, I have a bum leg. I can't come in." And the manager doesn't have anybody else to cover. I hear all of this on speaker. This is the greatest thing ever. So they're laughing, right? They're having a great time. And she goes, "I don't know. She said it was none of your business." And he goes, "Well, it is my business because it's affecting her job and it's affecting her ability to work." So now he's getting angry. Okay.
oh
And I'm
man.
like, here we go. And they're all women playing the joke on the male manager. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's even better. Okay. And finally, when they come out, they tell her it was, "Hey John." You're like, "Yeah." Like he's all pissed.
This is already just angry as can be,
Yeah,
stinking out the ears, like
he's at 9 ready to boil
yeah.
over, and he was like, "Man, I really thought I was gonna have to cut. I thought I was gonna have to fire somebody." Like, and that's it. Yeah. So that's the one thing that I witnessed. I didn't play any pranks because I don't like getting it back sometimes. So
Yeah.
What about you? Did anything happen at the household?
Nothing happened here. It was pretty quiet. Pretty busy day. It's just obviously all the news that circulates out there, so you always got to think twice on when it's April Fools on hey what's legit out there and what's not. So, but
Yeah,
I did not get got by anybody.
that's good. It's
Thank
good. It's good not to get got.
yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it's if you don't get got, you didn't get it. So there you go. But
Okay, moving
All
on.
right,
Okay,
free
moving on.
agency.
all right.
Let's get it.
So let's do a little free agency.
Yes, sir.
All right. So first things first, like say what's the one thing that you're looking for in free agency if you're a GM? Okay? And I'm not saying I mean, you're looking for your first guy. Maybe that's a offensive tackle, a defensive line, whatever that may be. As a GM, what are you looking for? Like what's the kind of thing that is that you have to have in order to spend that money to know that person's good enough?
Well, I'm assuming you got to have some cap space. You got to have some dollars to play with.
I would hope so. Yeah. Otherwise,
You
you're just
know.
playing Monopoly money there.
So, but really, I think it's a big emphasis on the pro scouting, all the work they do during the season, and how much time they put in during the offseason right before the new league year starts. So you really got to identify one who's going to hit the market. Very rare do the elite guys hit the market unless you're coming off some sort of injury or whatnot. But I really think for me, the way I view free agency, the way I look at it is, can I add some band-aids to my roster, either on some 1-year proofy deals or some low budget guys, so that way I'm not pigeonholed in the draft.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that way you fill up your cut board with some guys that might fill your needs, be some roster players, but really just so you have that maximum flexibility to go BPA in the draft or get aggressive and move up to get a guy that you think can really help your team.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, you rely on those scouts, and
Mm-hmm.
let them make their decisions. And from them, basically,
Need the info.
you need the info.
You need
Okay.
the info.
And when you're trying to, as a GM, you got to have that cap space. You got to be willing to spend that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you gotta know the value of what you're bringing in and how much of an impact they're gonna have on your team in this specific area.
Yeah, you
Because you gotta have a good have a good dollar, So,
Yeah, and I don't know if a lot of people out there really understand that there's two different scouting departments. You have your college scouting, which is what primarily focuses around the draft and all the work going to all the campuses and seeing the college games and whatnot. And then you have your pro scouting, which is really just viewing your own players and players around the league.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's and there's a big difference of what you're looking at too, because if you're looking at the college scouts, or the college scouts, not that they can't become pro scouts or aren't pro scouts or haven't been at one point, because you can move around from time to time depending on what you're good at and what they see that they could utilize you for. You know, we've met a lot of people that have moved around from coaching to scouting to, I mean, consultant to everything. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's
the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
yeah. So but there was one quote I've heard that I like. If you're gonna buy a player,
I'm just sick of all the amateur stuff. If I'm paying top dollar, I want something that I can look at, you know? I want a little production value. I need some transitions maybe, or some music, just something, you know? I'm just
maybe just a little bit, little production value. That's
Just
all
a
I'm
little
looking
bit.
for.
Just a little
Hey,
bit.
some of those guys can bring some music action too. So,
Absolutely.
all right, so let's
Absolutely.
let's jump into it, man. So, what do you want to jump into? You want to jump with AFC, NFC,
Let's just start with the AFC.
the AFC least?
Ah, man, don't do that to your division.
Look, I gotta see it, brother.
It's
Okay,
AFC Beast.
I gotta see it. Hey, look, I'm a beast. I'm not the best, but I'm a beast. So let's do it.
Let's get into it.
All right. So let's start with the Bills here. Final four contestant here. They, did a couple things. They seem to they seem to bring in a couple people. They seem to re-sign a few people at that. And
Mhm.
some of the biggest ones is a restructure. I don't want to say restructure, but new terms, 6-year deal with Josh Allen, which is big. I mean,
Yeah.
he's turned into an elite QB. We all know this, right? 6 years, worth up to 330 with 250 guaranteed, which is enormous, right? And
Which sounds crazy. It sounds enormous, but
yeah,
they're getting ahead of the curve on what quarterbacks are getting paid.
yeah, yeah. It's
So they're
a huge,
smart locking him in early.
yeah, huge kudos to the GM over there, and was it Bean?
Yep.
And look, they're doing that now so that they don't, that's actually taking a pay cut. If you think about it, Josh Allen is going to take a pay cut as this thing moves forward. You know, so he'll be getting paid, but everybody else is going to start getting paid. A higher dollar, a higher dollar, a higher dollar, and he's probably going to stay right there, knowing that they could spend that extra money instead of him getting it to the team, so that they can bring in more value at different positions.
Yeah, I want to say that there was some quote that Josh Allen had that they asked him, why didn't you want to be the highest paid quarterback, or that was probably possible. He said, I've had a lot of success, but what's 5 or 10 million more?
Yeah, yeah.
So he's doing well for himself. We'll say that.
So there's I look. I hate the guy, but I love the guy. You know what I mean? Like, I got respect for him. So, he turned from in my eyes, a 50-50 ball kind of guy in college. You know what I mean? He didn't know what he was going to turn out to be. He went to the right place, had the right offense to turn him around or develop him. I don't want to say turn him around, develop him.
Yeah.
And he turned out to be a gem. Anybody could have had this kid. Anybody could have. And, he's still lasting, and damn it, he can't beat the Chiefs, man.
I think that's the boogeyman. That's where they gotta try to get the hump over.
Yeah.
But that's why some of these budget signings. I mean, look, you're getting Joey Bosa for a 1 year, $1.6 million deal
Mm-hmm.
with 12 million guarantee. The idea is you hope that he stays healthy.
Yeah.
Add some pass rush off to that. What you also have, Michael Hope from, I think he came from the Rams, didn't he?
I believe he did, yeah.
Edge rush. So again, pass rush, like it's a common theme. That it feels like a lot of teams are going after the formula what the Eagles did on their
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl run, and what Tampa did a couple years back on their Super Bowl run.
There. I like one signing, and I don't want to say one signing that they did. I do like the signing of Josh Palmer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
3 years, 36 million, 18 guaranteed. Cool, right? I'm this may just be me. Um I don't understand the 4-year extension for Khalil Shakir. Of like, I know it's worth up to 60. It's 32 million guaranteed. I know that's kind of low, but I don't know.
Well, I think he's an elite slot receiver. I mean, he had maybe one drop on the season last year. Like, that's Josh Allen's guy.
Yeah, I'm not. It is his guy. The offense is also made to be extremely easy, which, hey, kudos to him for knocking it out. You know what I mean? Like, remember 2 years ago, it was, fucking and chuck it, right? Like, that was that the past 3 years before that. And then when they put in the new offensive coordinator, it's like, hey, like, let's run this in a way that, like, keeps everybody standing up, I guess. You
Well,
know
it's
what
a
I
lot
mean?
more efficient, I'd say.
Yeah, that's true. Moving on, they did a little offensive guard. Kendrick Green signed for a 1-year deal. We won't go through everything, but
Yeah, we'll pick out a couple that we
yeah.
highlight. I think
But I
could
like
make some noise.
6'3", 6'3", 310. Yeah, good guard sides. So that fills in that hole there. But everything else, Christian Benford, 4-year, $76 million extension for him. That's going to be That's going to be something that they rely on, is their defense to give them the ball back so that Allen could run the clock. You know what I mean? That's really what it is, and it starts with their defense. It starts with the guys that they have there, and they want to bring back those people. So he,
Yeah, McDermott's a defensive guy, so
yeah, absolutely. So it's other than that, though, it's going to be interesting to see what they do at the draft. I could see them going a couple different ways, a couple different directions. In the first round, probably some trench guy stuff. But in the second round, I could see them going weapon. I really do, and that's my opinion.
yeah, I think they did a really good job of retaining their guys this year.
Hmm. All right, let's go. Let's go down to Miami, where Zach Wilson will have his opportunity to carve up the New York Jets, as every quarterback has, and that used to be on that team. But they did sign Alexander Madison to a 1-year deal. Dwayne Eskridge. Uh, I like that. I just like saying that name. I don't know why. Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's a fun name to say. Not that it matters or anything like that. But uh, Farrell Brown. I believe he was with the Seattle, right?
I think
Yeah,
he's
he was.
kind of been all over, man. I think he's kind of been a journeyman at this point.
Yeah. So they did a couple things. Nothing too crazy though. I mean, like James Daniels, 3-year, 24 million. That's an offensive guard, but I they need to do some O-line work.
Yeah, especially with Teron Armstead. I'm not sure if he's going to come back and play this year. So I
Yeah,
think tackles are really, really big need for them. But you'd like to see that they sign James Daniel at guard to kind of keep Tua upright.
yeah,
Because Tua is going to be the key to their season. I mean, with his injury history and the kind of some of the scary concussions you've seen, you got to invest in the guards and centers.
yeah,
That way you keep him upright, especially because he's a little bit shorter
yeah.
quarterback, and he's more of a time. He's great at timing and staying on rhythm with his accuracy. So you got to keep him up right here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You're grabbing somebody that's homemade with the Jackson Carman, Larry Borum from Chicago, and then James Daniels from Pittsburgh Steelers. But you're gonna have to draft one of these guys, because that is one thing that is falling apart over there, and you're gonna kill this kid. I mean, if you keep letting people come in, they signed 3 linebackers. Everything is basically 1-year, 2-year deal. Nothing crazy. Again, another 1 or 2-year deal with 2 cornerbacks and safeties. Burns, Melifonwu, and Elijah Campbell and Ashton Davis, one of the guys from the Jets. And they're punters. So they have a lot. They got a lot to do in the draft, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Moving down to New England. This was a smart signing. 2-year deal with Dobbs, $8 million, $3.8 million fully guaranteed. I've been noticing a trend with these backup quarterbacks getting less. I mean, like extremely, really significantly less money. And even though, like you were saying, that number is going to jack up for starters, you know what I mean, which could jack up quarterbacks in general. But I like that. They do need a solid backup QB over there, just in case it happens. Somebody
Yeah,
as big as Allen, somebody as big as
help Drake May out. It's a good. I mean, Joshua Dobbs. I mean, he's a smart quarterback from out of Tennessee. You saw him take over some of these offenses, get put in certain situations, and excel and perform. It wasn't for a long period of time, just spaced in the seasons over the last couple of years, but he's definitely a guy that can play.
Yeah,
Teach him.
Yeah, man. Look, they got some. Patriots picked up some weapons here. They got Stephon Diggs, 3-year, $69 million. Now this is the thing. You said that was a 1-year opt out, right?
Yeah, I think it's like 1 year, 23 million with the opt out for next year.
Okay.
For the Patriots, so it's like the team has an out if he doesn't fit within the organization. But I really like the signing. I think Diggs is going to be a great security blanket for Drake May.
Yeah, I think he's lost a little bit of a step, but it's like if you could utilize him, not expecting exactly what he was in Buffalo, then you're getting every dollar worth of what you just signed. You know what I mean? Don't try to run what the Bills run your offense the way you're supposed to run it, utilizing him in the way that you believe that he could be utilized.
Yeah, I think he's at this point in his career, he's going to rely on more of his route running and separation at the point at the stem point. So I think he's going to be definitely one that's going to be able to get open and is a legit receiver for Drake May.
Yeah. I like the Matt Collins 2-year 8.4, Austin Hooper 1-year 5 $5 million with 4 guaranteed. Now that's the thing. Austin Hooper's I think he's a pretty good tight end, especially for what they're going to be trying to do over there. And they made some offensive line moves. Morgan Moses for 3 years, Wes Schweitzer 1-year deal. That's just a depth guy, unless they're really going to utilize him. And then Garrett Bradbury, a center. So they're trying to build that offensive line depth over there, which I think is good. And then they just went, in on some, Clavon Chason, Harold Landry, Milton Williams. That's the big one right there. Milton Williams, 4 years, $104 million, 51 fully guaranteed, and a $24 million on pen to paper. So, and then they just got some depth. Kyrus Tonga, Robert Spillane, and Carlton Davis and Epps and Hawkins. Like they're building this up to where everybody could be. I mean, Carlton Davis, obviously he's going to be a starter, but
yeah, I think that's Mike Vrabel really putting a stamp on
getting
some guys out there on defense.
Yeah, I think it's exactly what he's doing. And wait till the draft, man. I have a feeling if Abdul Carter falls to them, there could be a really solid chance that they pick him up.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Vrabel, they're going to be disciplined. They're going to be playing fast and solid defense.
Yeah, pretty much. So they can take a massive jump this year. You know what I mean? And I don't think Vrabel is one that's gonna be like, oh, we'll give it a year. No, he's I think he's gonna demand respect in that locker room. So, moving on to my New York Jets, took on Justin Fields, which they needed. They needed one of the better QBs out there. 2 years, 30 million guaranteed, 40 million on the table, and 15 pen to paper. And Kenny Nwagwu. Try saying that one 3 times fast. He was actually one of the guys that we just, punt returner, kick returner,
he's a great returner.
Yeah.
He had some great returns with Minnesota. Because I believe he had a workout and was going to sign with the Saints last offseason, but he had some sort of medical issue that popped up. So the avoid. So
They signed Tyler Johnson, Josh Reynolds, both minimal. Was it Chukwuma Okorafor?
Yep.
Yeah, he was over at the Patriots too. They said it was more of a character type thing. Aaron Glenn said he's cool with it. He talked to the guy. Whatever. I guess we'll see how that goes. Josh Myers. They're really not full. They're not really showing their hand what they want to do with Josh Myers, but you got him for just under $4 million, pretty much, and that's pretty good for a starting center. That was also Justin Fields, center in college. So
yeah, he came from the Packers, right?
Yeah,
started there the last few years.
So and then they just went crazy, defensive line, just 1-year deals. Cowart, Natty from the Chiefs, Tufele, Jay Tufele, Jamin Davis, Jamian Sherwood. We signed out. That was a big one because we needed a linebacker here. 3 years, $45 million. Brandon Stevens from the Raiders signed a 3-year deal, $36 million.
He came from the Ravens, my friend.
Yep. Who did I say?
Raiders.
Did I say the Raiders? Okay.
Okay.
Andre Sisco from the Jaguars signed a 1-year deal up to $10 million. He's a ball hawk. He's usually around where the ball is. He's just he's always making plays. And then Isaiah Oliver re-signed with the Jets, who could play safety and corner. So excited to see that as a Jets fan, obviously. So we'll see how the AFC East comes up. So move on to the AFC North.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, moving on.
All right, we got Baltimore Ravens. Cooper Rush. Not bad for a backup. I do like that backup.
Yeah. It's a guy who's shown that he stepped in for Dak a couple times when Dak went down for injury and performed fairly well. It's a good backup.
Yep.
You know what you're going to get from him.
Yeah, 2 years. Again, another $12.2 million, 2 years. You know what I mean? If you give him a system to run with, he will. And if he has help like the other guy that they signed, DeAndre Hopkins, look, I think that is a beautiful signing. He still has great hands. You don't have to ask him to do anything crazy. You still have some solid wide receivers over there, but now you have a veteran that can move the chains at all times.
Yeah, a physical receiver who, his game has never been predicated on speed or anything. So, he's going to age gracefully and be another weapon for Lamar over there.
Yeah. And again, I believe they signed one of their own, Tylan Wallace, just kind of keeping that depth over there. And the fullback, Patrick Ricard. Okay. Now, this dude has always been talked about, right? Or I always see his name over there. Dude, he does a great job in blocking. He's a great blocker.
Absolutely. He shadows as a DT too, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he plays both.
Certainly does.
So.
And they kept one of their own too, Ben Cleveland. Okay. 6'6", 360. I love that. And then a 3-year deal, $60 million, Ronnie Stanley.
That's the key. Him playing, staying at left tackle, because that was a name a lot of people were probably hoping hit the market, despite his injury history over the last few seasons. But that's a stud left tackle as long as he can stay on the field.
Dude, they have a 6'9" guard. What was it, Falele?
Yeah, the Minnesota kid out of Minnesota.
That dude is ridiculous. All right. And then they signed a corner to a 1-year deal, Awuzie. And we'll see what they do in the draft as well. But they always seem to do, the past 3 years, they've been drafting excellent. So on to the Cincinnati Bengals. Some of the big things, Jamar Chase, getting his 4-year, $161, well-deserved,
Yep. And we signed T. Higgins as well.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't think that they were going to do it. Good for him. That those are two solid alphas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what Burrow wanted. So you keep the crew together, and then this is where you got to hit on the draft to help that defense out. That was pretty rough last year, especially since Trey Henderson. He's had kind of a little disgruntled right now, so who knows what's going to happen with him.
Mm-hmm.
Hubbard ended up retiring, so they're going to have to go heavy defense in this draft.
Yeah, 100%. And you signed B.J. Hill. They re-signed him to a 3-year, $33 million. So obviously, it's going to help that you have some guys in there, but they need that fiery guy. They need that guy that's going to burst off of the line or make a play or something.
They need
That's
some difference makers or some playmakers for sure.
Yeah, so they re-signed Mike Gesicki, 3-year, 25 and a half, 12 at the 12 million in the first year. Everything else is just 1-year deal. Another tight end, Tanner Hudson, Lucas Patrick, the offensive guard. Everything is just minimal, but they're solidifying offensive line, guard. But everything on that defensive side, like you said, is either a 1-year deal besides B.J. Hill, and it's just depth. So they're really going to have to do some work in this draft.
Yeah.
Moving on to the Cleveland Browns. Good old Eagles making some trades here, giving away Kenny Pickett, acquired in a trade with the Eagles in exchange for quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and a 2025 fifth-round pick, number 164. Okay.
Yeah.
They needed a quarterback over there somewhat. I'm not saying Kenny Pickett is it, but
I don't think they're done making moves at the quarterback position.
I hope not.
It gives you a floor. Kenny's obviously been a starter in this league. He's played a lot of games so far, so he's someone that might be competent. We'll say.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think obviously the big piece that the Browns did this offseason was re-sign Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Monster contract.
4-year extension that includes $123 million guaranteed, has an average per salary of $40 million, which ties Garrett to the Browns for the next 6 years. Also includes a no trade clause.
Yep.
I have a story about Myles Garrett. One guy that I met, I went to a Cleveland game, and he was a good friend after this game. We were betting. It was the Jets versus the Browns, and we were betting like who's gonna, who's gonna be the worst team, right? So we were just joking around, and it was when McCown was on the Jets, and what happened was the Browns ended up I think they ended up winning, and I forget who won that game, to be honest with you, but it was such a shit show that in like the fourth quarter, he was like, "All right, I'm gonna go get high." He was like, "I'll see you later," and I was like, "Nice to meet you." His name was Wayne, and if anybody actually wants to go listen to it, on my podcast, Iconical, it's called Browns Fan Till I Die, because he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and I actually was able to get a interview with him sadly on his deathbed, but
Oh, wow.
yeah, he was a cool dude. I mean, he said that he went in and he just wanted to meet Garrett, and that's all he wanted to do was just meet Garrett, and he ended up seeing him at a diner, like during this process.
Yeah.
And from what I heard, he wasn't big. He was never rude to anybody. He was actually very, very nice but he always just be like, "Hey, I just want to, eat with my family." He let him sit in his car. He took pictures with him. He took pictures with everybody in his family. And, dude was in tears. And he said, "That's the only thing I wanted." And he got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's special, man. That's cool.
So rest in peace, Wayne. It's been like 2 years now. And, he's probably looking down, hoping that the Browns make some good draft picks. So shout outs to Wayne and his family out in Cleveland. All right. So we'll go everything else they did it. Malik Collins, 2-year, $20 million, 13 fully guaranteed defensive lineman, and everything else is just kind of the linebacker Devin Bush. Nothing crazy, just didn't work out the way everybody panned out, but we'll see how that pans out over there, and they got the number 2 pick. So I mean, they have plenty of options of what they can do going into this season. And there's even rumors of what. I mean, we're hearing rumors of possibly Cousins. You never know. I don't know.
It's whenever Atlanta lets him become available, and obviously Kirk has to be okay with it since he has a no trade clause as well. So
Yeah,
he has to get the blessing.
So let's move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers signing Mason Rudolph yet again. He's going to be there forever.
He's back.
He's back, baby.
In Tennessee.
Kenneth Gainwell coming from one side of Pennsylvania to the other. And major trade acquiring DK Metcalf. I think we all know this. We've seen this. For a second-round pick, the number 52 pick from the Seahawks, and a late-round pick swap, Metcalf is signing for a 4-year, $132 million extension with Pittsburgh. So that right there just goes in, and now you have an A and a B. Obviously, Metcalf is your A. Pickens is, I don't want to say your B, but maybe 1B, right?
1A and 1B, yeah. I mean, that's a scary receiver duo.
Yeah, certainly is. They signed Donald Parham Jr. to a 1-year deal, which is kind of cool. I just like his size, dude. Not so much his weight, but his size. He's 6'8", 237. Solid. You could throw the ball at the sun and he'll catch it.
Good red zone target for sure.
Yeah. And then he just did some depth work there with the defensive end, defensive line. Brennan Eccles, which I think is a really good signing for them, getting a cornerback over there, and then Darius Slay, another cornerback that'll be solid over there. So
yeah, and then Juan Thornhill too. I think that's a solid safety signing
for one deal coming from the Browns. I like that free safety signing, and it should solidify exactly the defense of what they're made of. It allowed a front four or whatever their scheme is to do what they have to do while they have those corners and those safeties, tightly covering the secondary over there. So, all right, let's get down to AFC South. Should we try that out?
Let's do it.
All right.
I'm going to start with the Texans.
Yep.
Shout out Luis.
Yeah, shout out to our boy Luis, man. He's got a wide receiver now.
Well, I mean, he lost Diggs.
Yep.
He got a few receivers there now. The return man Braxton Berrios, but obviously you got the slot merchant Christian Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
In division trade from the Jaguars,
which is rare.
Injury, isn't he? Didn't he get hurt last year?
Who, Christian?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a shoulder issue going on. Seems to be an every year thing. He always gets bumped up or bruised. You can always count on him to be out maybe like 3 or 4 games a year. But yeah, you know what? He's solid. He had there was like 4 or 5 years ago. He kind of set the new stage for what wide receivers were going to be getting paid. So.
Yeah, I think he gives you that floor in the slot where it can be somebody that's always going to get open for C.J. Stroud whenever he's on the field, and I think it gives him a good playmaker to add to that room,
And they made some trades, acquiring in a trade with the Vikings, in exchange for a 2026 6th-round pick for Ed Ingram, the offensive guard, and Laken Tomlinson. They got for 1 year, 4 1/4. Max $5 million. So they desperately need some help after they got rid of Tunsil too.
Well, yeah, and they signed Trent Brown on a 1-year deal up to $3 million, and also Cam Robinson. So you got some tackle depth there, but I still see them going after some sort of lineman in the draft.
Yeah, I think it would be in their best interest.
I mean, Stroud got hit a lot last year.
He did.
Beat up game after game. So, obviously, I think with Tunsil, he's a great left tackle. But, I mean, even despite how great he was, Stroud was still getting beat up. So, I think it's an interesting that they're completely changing their offensive line this offseason. But, they got to figure out what's going to work. So,
yeah. They made some They made a big move with Derek Stingley, agreed to terms 3-year, $90 million extension. That includes $89 million guaranteed. That's going to set the bar
Great move.
for a lot of things. He has a lot of speed. He could be sticky at times. I worry about his tackling at times, sometimes, but other than that, he's a great cornerback.
Oh yeah, he's elite. He's up there. I think he could arguably be one of the, if not the top corner next season.
There's definitely a possibility if everything is going the way it should be. And I'll say this, man, like ever since I'm blanking on his name again. It's the head coach over there.
D'Amico Ryans.
Ever since he showed up, dude, they ship shaped that entire in 1 year. They ship shaped everything. Excuse me. And then they acquired a safety, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, acquired along with a 2026 6th-round pick in a trade with the Eagles in exchange for the offensive guard Kenyon Green. So it's very odd to see them kind of get rid of their offensive line, but obviously they have a plan to do whatever it is they got to do. But I would, offensive line is something that they're going to be needing. So
yeah, and I mean, if that was a previous first-round pick for him, so obviously if it wasn't working for them, go ahead and cut bait and get what you can.
Yeah.
So.
All right, moving on to Indianapolis Colts. Daniel Jones, 1 year, $14 million, and Khalil Herbert signed to a 1-year deal. I'm not gonna lie, none of this looks very sexy except for Charvarius Ward.
Charvarius Ward, yeah, 3 years deal up to $60 million with $35 million guaranteed. So I think that's going to be a big piece in their secondary. Help get the defense a little bit better. So I like it, and he needed to change the scenery after San Francisco. So
yeah, and they also signed a safety, Cameron Bynum, 4-year deal, $60 million coming from Vikings. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like I'm glad you got some depth on your or not depth. You got some solid like defensive players, but I just feel like you could concentrate so much more on something else with that money, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like the moves in secondary, especially in that division. You got Trevor Lawrence, C.J. Stroud, and most likely probably Cam Ward coming into the division. So shore up that pass defense. I like the moves.
All right. Let's go down to Jacksonville. Nick Mullins, not bad.
Solid backup.
Yeah, he is. I remember one time I was playing him in fantasy. He carved me up when he was on San Francisco and I was down in Miami. Diami, I can never say his name. Diami Brown. Mm-hmm. 1 year, $10 million, not too bad. That's I think it's perfect for him coming from Washington. Hunter Long, 2 year, $5 million. Everything's kind of cheap. Johnny Munn, very cheap. Chuma Doga signed with the Jaguars. It's just off. I didn't know they moved him to a tackle. He used to be a guard. Oh no, he is a guard. Okay, coming from the Cowboys, and 3 year, $21 million, 13 offensive tackle Robert Hainsey, coming from I believe the Buccaneers. Sorry, I almost said the Cardinals. And Jordan Lewis, cornerback, 3 years.
Good salt player coming from Dallas. So he's feisty. He'd be good for that secondary.
Yeah. So, and Eric Murray signing 3 year, 22.5, $12 million, coming from the Texans. Or Texans?
Eric Murray.
Yep.
Yes. So.
All right. So they need a lot of work. I would say defense-wise, mainly, but that's just my opinion. I think they do have a lot of weapons over there. They still got some good wide receivers, great quarterback, and I wouldn't be shocked if they picked up a really good tight end, like a solid tight end over there. So, moving on to Tennessee Titans. All right. 2 QBs they signed for some depth over here.
Yep.
Van Jefferson, 1 year deal. Offensive tackle, 2 offensive guards. So Dan Moore Jr., 4 years, 82 million with 50 million guaranteed and 30 million in year one, which is solid.
It's a big deal.
Yep.
Tackle coming over from Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. That's that's the hardest thing. There's not a lot of teams. There's only a handful that say, "Hey, we have a left tackle." So very hard to spend that kind of money doing that. But it's I would say it's great for.
Yeah, I think they'll slide him in at left tackle and put J.C. Latham, who they took in the first round, shift him back to his natural spot on the right side. So that way you have 2 booking tackles.
Yeah. And they went some depth, offensive guard with Hanson, but they did sign Kevin Zeitler, 1 year, $9 million. I think that was a great signing, to be honest.
He's just a machine, man.
He is.
Each year he's just solid as can be. You want a veteran, solid presence on your offensive line?
Yeah.
You sign him.
Some outside linebackers they got here with Lorenzo Carter and Draymond Jones. And trying to see, where was that other one? Where is he at? Cody Barton, the 3 year, $21 million linebacker. So they're going to do something special over there. They got some linebackers from a bunch of different spots. Denver Seahawks, and you know what I mean? And they're making it happen, So they're going to try to. They actually did have a pretty decent defense last year. They can build up on that O-line a little bit and get the quarterback that they need. I think it's. Call me crazy. I think it's solidified. Cam Akers is probably going to go there, but we've seen crazier things, right?
The running back, Cam Akers.
I always say it. You know it. He's going to be drafted again. He's going to be
referring to Cam Ward.
No, Cam Akers is going to be the first running back to be drafted twice. So, not only is he going to be drafted twice, the second time he's drafted, he's going to go number 1 overall.
I'm not going to hold my breath on that one, my friend.
Please don't. I'll be the only one hosting this thing.
All right. You ready to get into some AFC West?
Let's do it, baby. AFC West, Broncos.
Let's ride.
As I only hear Wilson.
What an era. What an era.
Yeah. What a ride.
My goodness, man.
Jared Stidham, 2 years, $12 million. Cool. Michael Burton, a fullback, re-signing with the Broncos. Trent Sherfield signed a 2 year, $6 million deal. That's some depth field right there.
Don't forget about Texas legend Sam Ehlinger signing with them.
What?
Yeah, Sam Ehlinger, the quarterback.
Yeah.
He was drafted in Indianapolis. He signed with Denver as well. Texas legend.
So where's he gonna be?
He's in Denver.
I know he's in Denver. Do you think he's gonna be above Jared Stidham?
Oh, I'm not sure. He'll probably be number 3.
Fair enough.
He'll be someone that Sean tries to develop.
I believe I know. We're talking about Joker status here. When he said he wanted a wild card or a Joker, but that could be that Evan Ingram right there.
Yeah, it's a great signing. I mean, Evan Ingram, after he left the Giants, he blossomed to a really good receiving threat with Jacksonville. So I think it gives Bo Nix another weapon in the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like the moves that Denver did on defense.
Yeah, you could see it right now, man. It's Dre Greenlaw, linebacker, 3 year, $35 million. Justin Strand, or I can never say his. I always fuck up his name. Sternad.
Yeah,
I can never. Is that how you say it?
I'll be honest. I'm not too sure.
They just re-signed him basically, but it's I can never say his name. I always want to fix his jersey, like he messed up. But Talano Hufanga signed a 3 year, $45 million, $20 million.
Two former 49ers coming over.
Yeah.
And that defense was already great last year, so you had some more talent to the back end of that defense, and Denver's going to be pretty good next year.
And you know something? Who's the one quarterback that came in and absolutely destroyed them and picked them apart?
Ooh, from last year.
Yep. Had the most passing yards of the year on him.
Oh, I think that was a Sunday night game, wasn't it? Or Monday? Monday night game?
Maybe. I don't remember.
Hmm.
I'll give you a hint.
It was Jameis Winston, wasn't
It
it?
was Jameis
It was
Winston.
Jameis.
Yes.
Jameis. I knew because we had their defense in our fantasy league.
We did.
Yeah, but they scored 2 touchdowns. So
They scored a lot of points for us still.
yeah,
He threw over 500 or no, just up to 500.
So they were playing the Browns then.
Yep. 490 something yards.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a Monday night game if I remember correctly. But yeah,
Right.
I like what Denver's done this season.
Yeah.
This offseason, excuse me.
They're going to be exciting to watch this year. That this whole division is going to be completely different this year.
Yeah.
Looking into the Kansas City Chiefs, getting some pretty good two backup quarterbacks in Gardner Minshew and Bailey Zappi. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not saying that they're gonna be like, oh my god, like they're phenomenal, but those having Bailey Zappi as a third stringer, that's a pretty good depth.
Especially because he was with the team last year, so
yeah,
he knows the offense but obviously for all the Chiefs fans and everyone out there, I don't think anybody want either one of these quarterbacks to see the field unless it's week 18.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Fair enough. They re-signed Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquise Brown. They have Kareem Hunt, Elijah Mitchell on. These are all one-year deals, which is I believe this is pretty good. They all know the system. They all know what's going on over there.
Yeah, Elijah Mitchell too. Obviously when he was with the Niners, he couldn't stay healthy, but that could be a good upside move.
It could. No, 100%. 100%. This one is big. Jalen Moore, 2-year, $30 million. You're talking about getting a tackle from San Francisco, and what more would you want than that and Trey Smith? It says sign the non-exclusive franchise tag, which would pay the guard $23.4 million. So you're trying to keep Pat on his feet. You know what I mean?
And Trey was arguably one of their top linemen last year.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they'll get a long-term extension done, but it's good to keep him in the building for at least another year.
Yeah. So they also got Nick Bolton, the linebacker, re-signed for another 3-year, $45 million with 30 fully guaranteed. And then the cornerback Christian Fulton signed a 2-year deal, $20 million that has a max value of 20.5 and includes $15 million fully guaranteed. So, and let's not forget the tendered punter, Matt Araiza.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's got a huge leg, man. Remember him coming out of the draft a few years ago.
Yeah. He was let go by Buffalo, right?
Yeah, he had some legal issues that ended up not being true, so got his name cleared. So good for him.
So Kansas City Chiefs will continue to be the Kansas City Chiefs, and we will move on to the Las Vegas Raiders. You want to start us off with the Raiders?
Yeah, I think the number one move. I guess you could argue the Max Crosby 3-year extension is the number one move, but getting a quarterback. Acquiring Geno Smith from the Seahawks for a 2025 third-round pick, number 92 overall. I think that gives them a solid veteran option for Pete Carroll, a guy that he knows, helped turn his career around. So I think Vegas could make some noise in that division. I think Geno Smith raises their level.
Yeah, and not for nothing, I do think that they're going to be the small signings here. Raheem Mostert, that gives him some speed. I know he's a little bit older. I get that. I understand. I know he gets hurt. I get that. I understand that too. But it gives him a little bit of speed. I think they're going to be looking for a running back in this draft. And not only that, but you sign Jeremy Chin, the safety, for 2 year and $16 million, which is great on the defense. The defense was already pretty solid last year, and not for nothing, I think he's going to bring what he had in Seattle, and he's going to bring it right over to the Raiders. And I'm telling you, this division is going to be fun to watch this year.
For who?
The Raiders.
You say who's coming over from Washington? Are you talking about Gino?
No,
Or from Seattle?
Pete the prospect.
Oh, okay, yeah. Not bad. I got confused there for a second. I don't know why.
So, I mean, I'm glad that he's going over there. He knows Geno Smith as a head coach. He knows Geno Smith.
Yep.
He knows, what kind of offense he wants to bring in there, what kind of defense he kind of wants to. I mean, obviously he doesn't have the same people, but it's not his first rodeo. He knows what quarterback that he has, so he knows what he's capable of doing.
Yeah, and what Geno Smith did with that offensive line in Seattle last year, it's pretty impressive.
Yep.
So,
let's go to the Los Angeles Chargers. Taylor Heineke. Haven't seen him in a while. 1 year deal. Where was he last year? Let me take a look at this. Was he over there last year?
Ooh, I think so.
Okay.
I think he was.
I didn't know he was over there. All right. So Najee Harris is kind of like the big one that I saw. I mean, not the huge, not the biggest, but certainly something I didn't expect. I didn't expect him to go over there, and not for nothing, not really that much money. 5.25.
Mm-hmm.
Some signing bonuses, some everything is incentive wise and stuff like that. So,
But I think that's Harbaugh's bell cow. That's big bodied back. Guys ran for over 1,000 yards each year of his career. So, and obviously with Harbaugh being there, they've invested a lot in the offensive line. So, I think that could be a huge budget sign for them. He's going to be a big part of that offense.
Yeah, and I mean he stalked him at his old high school, so
that's true. Yeah.
They got Mike Williams back. Not bad. It's a little connection for Justin Herbert there. Jalen Reagor and Tyler Conklin. You know what I mean? So they got some weapons over on that side.
I just hope Mike Williams is fully healthy. It seemed like he never really was able to have his legs back last year when he was with the Jets or the Steelers. It just kind of seemed.
That's why I don't think that kind of 1 year deal after somebody gets an ACL tear, it's. I don't like those 1 year deals because they're not going to be the same. You know what I mean, and it's
usually like the year after the first year, So
yeah,
but hopefully he's come back and hopefully he's fully healthy and can make some noise this year.
Yeah. So they signed Bradley Bozeman and Andre James. Both. Yep.
Guard coming over from the Eagles, Super Bowl champion. Really budget-friendly deal, too. 2 year, $20 million deal.
Mm-hmm. He's that's what happens. Now, look, nobody right off the bat wanted. I don't want to say wanted him, but they weren't really looking at him, and it's a perfect place to go if you want to. If you want to contend again in the playoffs, this is a great team to be on. Help a solid quarterback in the background, a guy who likes to run the ball all the time. I don't want to say all the time, but utilize his weapons too, and you have a strong defense. It's a great place to be. You just came from a place like that, so
I think this also puts the Chargers, and they have to have the biggest offensive line in the NFL now, right?
They got to.
I mean, they got to be up there at least.
Yeah, they got a wall over there. I remember when Drew Brees used to stand on his tippy toes to look over his guys. All right. Yeah, man. All right. So, and then Khalil Mack re-signed to a 1 year, $18 million, fully guaranteed. Good for him. Still rocking it, dude. Yeah. By the way, at age 34.
Oh yeah, he's the best pass rusher last year.
But they did do some cool things with some cornerbacks: Dante Jackson, Elijah Molden. 2 year deal, $13 million, and a 3 year deal, $18.75, and it's $13.5 million guaranteed to Elijah Molden. Bunch others 1 year contracts. trying to see, and their punter. A lot of people keeping their punters. I like it.
Mhm.
All right. You want to head over to the NFC?
I say we can do that now, or we can save it for the next one.
You know what? Was it about an hour? Okay, yeah.
We're a little over an hour now, so
Yeah, I think that's more than enough that we can. Yeah, look, you got everything AFC wise going on. Do you want to do a quick 3-round mock draft?
yeah. Before we get in the mock draft,
Mhm.
if we could just recap the AFC. Who do you feel like had the best free agency so far?
Out of the AFC,
Mhm.
hold on. Let me. If I'm gonna look at it,
Or is there any specific moves that you like the most?
I'm not gonna lie, and I hate saying this, man, but looking at what the Patriots did, they spent their money.
Yeah.
I think they could be big winners, and that scares the hell out of me, to be honest.
Yeah, I
You
think
know,
probably my two favorite, I guess, off season so far is what the Raiders did and what New England did.
yeah, New England is just New England is great. The Raiders completely turned, you know, a no fence into an offense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
and
absolutely.
but I am there is one big thing that I am very excited for the Cincinnati Bengals to sign not one but 2 stars and keeping 2 wide receivers, because not a lot of teams do that. And that on its own is like
Yeah, I think
wild.
the last time we saw that was what, Philadelphia with AJ Brown and Devonta Smith.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's dude, and it's like it doesn't happen that often. You know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah,
like, well, we can't afford you and we got to pay other people. When now they're just going to, they know the cap is going up, and this is what happens, So it's uh let's see what we got here. All right. You want to go?
let's
We'll
do a
do
quick little three rounder.
3-rounder. Got
Yeah,
it. We'll do normal speed so we can go through it. You want to do you'll do your Saints. I'll do my
oh
Jets.
man, let's just spin the wheel.
Spin the
Let's have some
wheel.
fun. Let's
All
let fate
right.
decide.
Spin. NFL. Spin the wheel. All right. Let's do this. Haha. All right.
You gonna pull it up, my friend?
I am. All right. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I got one. Let's name a team that you hate.
Atlanta Falcons.
Atlanta Falcons. Okay.
No, you keep it on there. Ah, great. Okay.
Fair?
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
All right. Spinning it, baby. Oh, the Rams.
Okay.
You did the Rams already too, right?
Yeah, I did the Rams last time.
Do you want to try another one, or no? Do you want to do that again, or
Uh,
do you want to keep it?
we'll give it one more swirl. One
One more
more.
swirl?
One more swirl.
Okay, all right. I'm giving you the option here.
Yeah, let's just do it. Yeah. No. No.
There you go.
All right.
Not too bad.
Someone new.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. So we'll do.
Cincinnati.
All right, and then I will turn this into the Dub's choice. So if it lands on that, you choose for me, okay?
All right.
No, we're not doing this.
No
again.
way.
We're not doing this.
How did we
again.
both get the same team that we got last time?
I don't know, but I'm
You got
gonna
this
be
thing rigged, man.
yeah. And it was two separate ones too. So the Bears, okay.
Bears. Okay. Bears and Bengals. Wow. And we're right next to each other on there too.
All right, so let's do that. We'll do the Bears. All right.
We need some cool mock draft music.
Da-na-na-na.
Yeah.
We got to get some new music to this too.
Yeah.
Chicago. All right. Enter. All right. Oh God. Okay. So Chicago. I'll just. I don't have to go through all of these, but basically,
Well, we can't see it, my friend.
yeah, I know. But
Okay.
basically, it's. I'll go through just for these top ones. Cam Ward first. Will Campbell, which will not happen. Offensive tackle to the Browns at 2. Mason Graham to the Giants. Abdul Carter to the Patriots. Armand Membo to the Jaguars, Will Johnson to the Raiders, Shador Sanders to the Jets, and Travis Hunter to the Carolina Panthers. And then you get T-Mac.
Wow. Yeah, I don't feel like that's. I mean, I guess you never know. It's wild card draft, so
We'll rock with it. Well, since they spent a lot, since Chicago spent a lot on offensive line.
Yeah.
Yep. I think they're gonna go a little defense here, man. I'm gonna go Shamar Stewart, the edge.
Pair him with Montez Sweat.
Yep. And they're gonna build also that defensive line if they're gonna build the offensive line. So I'll go that direction. And we're gonna go down to there you go. You want to see the trades here?
I'd like to see the screen if I could.
Nope.
No, not today. All right,
Not today, sir.
Blind picking. Be on my Matt Murdock.
Hold up. Oh, now I know what you're saying. I know. I do.
Yeah, you with me?
You should have just said it.
I've said it a couple times, man. We can't see it.
I thought
There we
no,
go.
but every time you said it, the trade thing was up. So this was up. So I thought you said you couldn't see it.
Oh no, I couldn't see
So
the whole thing at all.
Yeah, my bad. All right. Sorry.
Yeah, anything's
So,
for me, man.
for those people that can't see, you got to remind me on these. Be like, if I can't, you know what? It should be from now on. It could be like, if I can't see it, the audience can't see it.
Yeah, we want to know what's up.
All right. So that's where you're at, and these are your trade offers.
Fall back 3 spots, pick 54. Okay, interesting. Ooh, fall back 20 spots. That's actually not too bad, but okay. I don't know if I want to fall back that far. You know what? Let me take Green Bay's offer. I'm gonna pick up an extra pick.
All right.
Go back to 6 spots. Arizona, pick 47, 78, and 115. And a second for pick 23. Okay. It's a lot of value there.
Yeah, it is.
For one pick. I can pick 50, 52, and an extra second.
That's 3 second-round picks.
Yeah, wow. No, I'm gonna stick a pick. We gotta adjust this defense for Cincinnati. And one of my favorite players is still on the board here, Mr. Versatility, do it all in the defensive backfield. Play outside corner, slot. He can even play some safety. And he's a ball hawk. So go with my guy, Jahdae Barron, cornerback out of Texas.
Jahdae Barron, there we go.
You are now a Cincinnati Bengal.
There you go, my friend. It's how fast it happens. And it'll come down to Luther Burden goes to the Browns, coming back to the 28th spot. Nice.
Oh, nice.
Imagine Mike Green going to the Eagles. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
All right. 39. Okay, so I could trade back, get some fire armor for later on. You know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say no, sir. And I know we just did some. We just did a little work on the defensive edge.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we just but
But you almost have back-to-back picks.
I know, and you know what? I want to make sure that we can solidify a run game here,
Yeah,
and I think they're going to go Amarion Hampton.
it's a great pick.
Yep, and we're going to go with that. And then we got to pick for the Dolphins to move back and get 116, or go back 2 picks
Pick
and get 160. You know what? I'll go back 2 picks here.
Okay.
And my guy is still there. I don't want to go back that far. I don't want to go back that far either.
You're leaning towards Mr. Grant.
Usually yeah, but for this I'm gonna keep I'm actually gonna go after Tyleek Williams here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have him go into the middle there while the edge is taken care of, and we're gonna solidify more of that defense after we just took somebody from the offense there. So let's go Tyleek Williams and get that defensive line kind of ship-shaped a little bit more, and should be good to roll.
Cool.
There we go.
All right. Can't trade with division rival. It's not my DNA. Fall back 9 spots and trade pick 153 for pick 79. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
All right.
Why not?
Oh, they came up, got Trey Harris. Not bad.
Yeah, that's good. All right, my guy is still on the board too. So, all right, Jets. Nah, I think I don't want to fall back that far.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other offer? Yeah, I don't want to fall back that far.
All right.
So we invested a lot into receiver. We re-signed Mike Gesicki. So offensive line, the offense is in a good spot going into next year. So I'm going to continue to load up on defense, and I'm going to take the linebacker out of UCLA, Carson Schweschinger.
Well pronounced, sir.
Thank you.
It's
a scary one. It's a tough one.
It is. It can be. All right, you're up again, sir, at the 58 pick.
Fall back 12 spots. Move up. Yeah. Let's pull the trigger.
Go to pick 7. Yeah, you're going up more than 100 spots. That's pretty good for that.
Yeah. I like the value there. So.
All right.
We'll see where the board lands.
There we go. Going into round 3. And there you are, pick 70.
Yeah, I'm going to decline that one. I want to help those guys. All right. And then I think here, again, going to be addressing the defense. Got to have some young, cheap talent here. So I'm actually going to take I like Alfred Collins, DT out of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I think could be a really great player in this league. But I also got to see Darius Alexander at the Senior Bowl, and he had some pretty good performances. So I'm going to take Darius Alexander from Toledo.
Cool. Let's do it. Oh, look at your boy Jackson Dart went to the Saints there.
3rd round. Huh?
Yeah. It looks like Pittsburgh wants to trade with Chicago. Okay, 72. I'll get next year's 3.
Fall back 11 spots.
Fall back 11 spots. And you know what? You know what? I'll take that.
Oh, yeah. Went up to get a tight end.
Yep.
Nice. Ooh, nobody wants mine.
No, nobody wants your stuff here, okay?
All right, cool. Well, again, got to address the defense. I can actually got Alfred Collins here too. I'm going to take, you know, Jermaine Burton was draft pick last year. He's kind of been up and down, we'll say. So I want to take receiver Alec Ayamana, receiver out of Stanford.
Yep. 6'1", 206. Nice.
I think it'll give him a solid third option.
There you go.
Sure. We'll pick up an extra pick to fall back a spot.
Let's see what the Seattle Seahawks want.
Ooh.
They want a QB. All right.
We're going to reject Minnesota.
All right.
I think we're good there. And then let's go with a safety. Andrew Makumba, great instinctive safety, good coverage skills. Probably he's not the biggest guy, but I know he has great instincts. He played at Clemson as well. And he's going to have some familiarity with Jahdae Barron in that defensive backfield. But I'm actually going to go with Kevin Winston Jr., safety out of Penn State.
Okay.
A little bit better size, get good coverage instincts, good tackler.
All right. Kevin Winston Jr., welcome to the club.
Let's roll.
Oh, I'm right back on. All right. All right. Pick 89, move back to get a fourth next year.
6 spots.
You know what? I'm going to take that.
All right.
I'm going to take that. You're up, buddy.
Okay. Fall back. It's 40 spots. Pick up next year's third, though. Okay. What's the next offer?
Dan.
I'm actually going to stick and pick.
Okay.
I think we need to make sure we keep Joe Burrow upright. Got to make sure we protect him. I know they invested at first-round pick Marius Mims last year. And they have Orlando Brown Jr. as their left tackle over there, right?
I believe so, yes.
So I think let's go ahead and take Cameron Williams, tackle out of Texas. He'd be a good swing developmental guy that we can.
Good size.
We could probably also maybe potentially play some guard as well if need be. So
there you go.
Protect Burrow. Let's protect the franchise.
All right. Chicago's back up. And getting back a pick.
You fall back 9 spots, but you move up 32.
Yeah, and I already got some stuff for next year. I'm going to take that again. I'm going to keep going down.
Nice.
Because I see something that I think they could utilize. And if it's there again, it's there again. There we go. So, nobody wants to trade with me. That's fine.
Yeah.
So we have some tight ends that we could look at here, which I like. Elijah Arroyo. I like his route running. His route running's pretty good. He's got a little bit of speed with that too.
Yeah, he was really good at the Senior Bowl too. He looked good.
Yeah. Terrence Ferguson too. He's actually good on both ends, receiving and blocking.
He blew up the combine. We saw him run.
See? And I'm also thinking about Dylan Fairchild. Maybe just solidifying what they want on that offensive line for the future too.
Yeah.
But I am going to go Terrence Ferguson here.
Okay.
I'm going to take Terrence Ferguson, tight end. It solidifies that line a little bit. He has a little bit more blocking ability. I believe. So we're gonna pick him. There you go. All right. So you go, C-Dub. Read them off, baby.
So we got pick 23, cornerback Jahdae Barron.
Cincinnati Bengals.
For the Cincinnati Bengals. We came back, pick 54, linebacker Carson Schweschinger, linebacker at UCLA. Added to the trenches with pick 70 with Darius Alexander, defensive tackle at Toledo. Came back, got another weapon for Mr. Burrow, the receiver at Stanford, Alec Ayomanor. Then came back, pick 82, got some more help in the defensive secondary with safety Kevin Winston Jr. out of Penn State. And then with pick 88, got the offensive tackle Cameron Williams from Texas. Help add some depth to the offensive line and make sure Burrow stays healthy all season.
Not too bad, man. I like that. I do like that. All right. See what we got. We did a number 10 pick, Shamar Stewart for the Chicago Bears from Texas A&M, the edge. Went down to 39, picked up Omarion Hampton, a running back from North Carolina. And then at 43, we did defensive tackle from Ohio State, Tyleik Williams. And we traded down a couple times to pick up a 2026 Pittsburgh third and a 2026 Houston fourth, and was still able to get a decent tight end out of Terrence Ferguson. And I think that should overall help, Chicago after what they've done in free agency, already solidifying that line. That's just creating the defensive line on the other end, solidifying the other end of the offensive line with a good blocker, a good route runner, somebody who, as you were there, blew up the Senior Bowl and the Combine, and Omarion Hampton, running back, who's a force to be dealt with. So
love that pick, man. You definitely got some dudes for that squad, and got some picks for the future too.
Yeah, ready to reload. If they need to come up and go get their guy and a wide receiver that they really want or something like that, that can be the next guy coming out next to DJ Moore over there. They can trade up. They can go get somebody in the second round, first round, whatever they need. So depending on where they pick. So
love it.
But that's what we got for today, everyone, and we will be back next week with the NFC and what they have to offer in another mock draft. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to check out our sponsor at norris-hall.com as they open their store for the first time on April 5th. And follow us at Top Dawg Coverage everywhere, every platform, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.
Adios.